Alright guys, this is the project we've all been waiting for me to actually finish. It's hard to believe that I started this project, gosh, 5 years ago probably? But between it getting sidetracked to build the mini grave digger, and then COVID, getting a divorce, moving a couple times. And then finally, getting moved into this shop, which let me know in the comments if you guys want a video about this crazy Quonset hut that I bought. So it's time to get this thing back together. I went to the store, bought a whiteboard. I'm going to list out everything that needs to be done in small steps so I can feel like I'm making some progress and finally get this thing done. Poor thing has been sitting outside under a tarp for a couple years. The tubing's all rusty. The whole thing's dirty. Hopefully there wasn't any water left in the engine that cracked because it went through freezing temperatures for sure. But all right, let's get started on finishing this golf cart. Alright guys, we got a list. If I start picking off these items one by one, we should be able to test drive this thing. I'm sure I forgot a couple little things, but it should be most everything to get it going. I'll zoom in here and let you take a look at the list. So basically the list is divided into things to make it move, things to make it stop, things to make it turn, and extra things. So, and then obviously once I do all these things and test drive it and like it, it all has to be torn back apart again and powder coated and then reassemble and make it look good. So let's get to work. Alright, cleaning the carburetors turned into a much bigger adventure than I had planned. Of course, just couldn't come apart easily and be cleaned. One of the pilot jets got stuck in one of the carburetors. I ended up breaking the head off of it with a screwdriver trying to get it out. Had to drill it, use an easy out. So cleaning the carburetors instead of a, maybe 2-hour job turned into a 2-day job. And I got very lucky. Local motorcycle shop had 4 new pilot jets to fit those Cahin carburetors, so I was able to get it all put back together. And I get to scratch the first item off of this list. That feels good. Quite a few more to go, but we're making progress, and that's what's important. All right, let's get back to work. Okay people, we are to an exciting step. Got the carbs cleaned, got the oil cooler mounted, the gas tank mounted, the radiator mounted, full of fluid, and got the exhaust on. We get to temporarily wire it so we can test fire this engine. Years ago, I test fired it in this frame before I tore it all apart and welded the frame. But since that time, this engine has been sitting for over 3 years since it's been run. Unfortunately, 2 of those years under a tarp outside. So I have a little concern. I'm hoping that you know, it'll perform in true Honda fashion and fire right up and not skip a beat. But what I mean by temporarily wiring it is I want to use this dash that came off the motorcycle and put it on the dash of the golf cart buggy, right? I've had this engine in a buggy before. I don't know if you saw the old videos of what I affectionately called Tubby. But in that Tubby buggy, the engine was actually in the front of the buggy, turned sideways and ran a drive shaft that powered a traditional car rear end. So the motorcycle wiring harness was long enough then to have this on the dash because the engine was just right in front of it. But now that in this setup, the engine's in the back, chain drive to that RPM gearbox, and the dash is going to be several feet forward. So I'm going to have to cut that motorcycle wiring harness, lengthen all those wires that come up to this dash so that I can utilize it on the front of this buggy. But before I mess with any of that, you know, put the energy into stretching it or potentially causing a problem that I didn't realize, I want to test fire it the way it is, make sure it's running good, and then I'll go ahead and lengthen that wiring harness and figure out where this is going to go on the dash. So that's our next step. Temporarily get it wired up and hear this baby run. Choke. The engine still runs! Yes! All right, I got a bit more enthusiasm to finish this thing now. All right, until next time.